Sarasota, on the Gulf Coast of Florida. It's a gorgeous vacation and retirement setting. It's got beautiful water, pristine beaches, and what seemed like an attractive real estate market. But in 2007, Sarasota was at the center of the U.S. housing crisis, which caused the greatest recession of the 21st century.
This could be the most serious recession in decades.
Visible signs of distress. Florida ranks third in the nation in the number of home foreclosures.
Now, years later, one Sarasota woman is still stuck in that crisis.
I feel trapped. I really do.
It all started in 2008. Cheri applied for a loan with Bank of America.
I was immediately approved. They said the loan was going to be 6%, and my payment was going to be somewhere around $1,350, including taxes, insurance, homeowners fees.
But when her first payment came due, Cheri was in for a shock. Her bill was well beyond the estimate.
So instead of paying $1,350 a month, which is what I had budgeted, it was $1,900 or $1,950. And I immediately just panicked.
When she went back to the bank, they told her it was the correct amount, and they gave her two options: either make the payment or sell the house.
And I couldn't make the payment, so I put the house up for sale. And pretty much overnight, the 2008 housing crash happened. And the house went down in value very quickly.
For years, Cheri managed to make payments. She rented the home out and lived with her daughter in a much smaller place, still hoping to sell it. And in April of 2010, it looked like the housing market in Sarasota was on the rebound. But then, an environmental catastrophe.
The gusher, unleashed in the Gulf of Mexico, continues to spew crude oil.
The greatest oil spill in American history now covers 29,000 square miles.
And what people don't realize is that Gulf oil spill didn't just affect Louisiana and Georgia, it affected Florida and the Gulf Coast. So the housing market in my area shut down all over again.
Cheri called the bank again and asked to refinance. They turned her down for refinancing, but instead offered her something called forbearance and loan modification.
They go, but we're going to put you in this program called Forbearance. And what we want you to do is we want you to stop making payments. And we'll figure out what your new loan payment's going to be.
And so Cheri started a loan modification.
In my modification process, I never knew what was happening. I never knew when they received documents. I never knew the checklist of what documents they supposedly had and didn't have.
That wasn't the only confusing part of the process.
They started sending me notices that I was late and potentially in foreclosure. And when I called the first time, they said, oh, it's an error, ignore the letters.
This was bad advice. Bank of America had filed a foreclosure against her.
Instead of actually telling me they had filed a foreclosure, they had informed me through publication in a newspaper in Sarasota, Florida. And by then, I was actually living in North Carolina. So they knew there was no way that I would know that there was a foreclosure. And so they got a default foreclosure based on that.
Cheri quickly filed an emergency motion to vacate that judgment. During the court hearings, documents showed that Cheri had always made her payments on time, and that when the bank said she defaulted, she was actually not behind.
My house is still in litigation. This isn't over for me, and I don't know when it's ever going to be over. So I need help. I need representatives and, Florida lawmakers to make some changes so this doesn't happen to anybody else.
To date, Bank of America representatives refuse to let Cheri sell the home.